language was banned from schools, and, by the way, faroese is more intelligible.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets React, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we are back with another American reaction. We're super excited about this video, guys. If you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down, hit the red subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell because we're on the road to 50K. And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Without further ado, let's get into the video.
These images are real.
Okay.
These are the Faroe Islands. A
Like
place characterized by its dramatic natural features buried in fog and mist. So beautiful that last year their official website issued a petition for Google to implement Street View. Which happened, kinda. Well, it sort of went out of hand and it expanded to something called Sheet View, which elegantly matches the name for this place. So
with Google Maps, because I don't think Google have all the islands. Google don't have all. Google have wasn't like countries.
Right, and I wonder how. I mean, I know it's satellite images.
Satellite doing its job.
But yeah, like you know when we see the people with the big, I don't know what you call their equipment, who be walking, they be getting the images for Google Maps.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. What I didn't even realize there was anything special.
It's like a big, tall.
It's not just regular people taking pictures and stuff. Like
no, they're literally walking. Like I know majority of it is from the satellite images, but some people like, I guess that's for like the driving distance.
Maybe they do have that. I mean, they do have it. Not maybe they do have it. You're not wrong.
And I've seen
it's just
a car
I don't know.
too.
I just don't know the name for it.
I don't know what it's called, but I wonder like how they do like the different islands, or maybe
satellite has to do its job. It got to be some real 4K zooming in stuff they got going on.
And height view, enough with Google. The point is that these islands are beautiful and interesting, so let's learn what they are.
Yes.
Let's get it. Such a unique name, the Faroe Islands.
The Faroe Islands are located in the North Atlantic Ocean, halfway between Iceland and Norway, and about 300 kilometers north from Scotland. Well,
wait, they got their own flag?
260 kilometers
they got their own flag
the closest place in Scotland, North Rona Island, but as this place is uninhabited, I don't think
Yeah.
You would think
population 0.
What?
But so I wasn't tripping. They showed that it had its own flag though.
Yeah. So I was wondering, because you know, like we have little territories that's called like U.S. territory. They don't have like a name for it, right? So I was wondering, like, wouldn't one of the bigger countries within this area, you know, wouldn't that be their territory?
I think they know about it because it's literally like right there in the middle.
It's right
you know
by
what I'm saying?
Scotland.
It's like if anyone is seeing back and forth, they'd be able to run into it. So they're like, oh, an island, unique.
I'm going to
claim it.
Scotland territory.
I discovered it, so it's mine.
Composed of 18 islands, this archipelago covers a surface area close to 1,400 square kilometers, which is comparable to the size of New York City. There are about 1,100 kilometers of coastline, and the farthest away you can be from the ocean at any place is 5 kilometers. The highest mountain is Slataratindur, peaking at 882 meters above sea level, and the average elevation for the Faroe Islands is of 300 meters.
That's how.
Which is 10 times more than their parent country. We'll get to that later. Denmark.
Denmark.
Peak Mollaham
It's Denmark
171
territory.
meters high and has an average overall elevation of 34 meters. Second lowest in Europe after, you guessed it, the Netherlands. These 18 islands are divided into 30 municipalities and 6 general regions. These are, from north to south, Norðoyar, Eysturoy, Streymoy, home to the capital, Vega, Sandoy, and finally Suðuroy. The capital Torshavn is home to about 20,000 people, representing 40% of the total population of a little over 50,000. This means that all of the Faroese together could not sell out Camp Nou Stadium in Barcelona. They would actually fill about half of it. Because of the warm currents coming from the Gulf Stream, Temperatures in the Faroe Islands are much warmer than other places at similar latitudes.
Okay.
For instance, Yakutsk, Russia has a mean average temperature in January of 38.6 below
That's a
zero.
distance though, so the
versus
temperature would probably
4
vary.
degrees
Like
Yeah.
normally found
that's real far from
in the
apart.
Faroe Islands. As winters are mild and summers cold, one could argue that seasons don't really exist in this area because 1. Temperature variations between winter and summer is very little, and 2. The climate is heavily influenced by the dramatic topography of these islands, so temperatures and weather conditions vary drastically throughout the day.
Oh, it's
Let's
Louisiana.
talk about
basically.
Koppen climate classification. Yes, that outrageously complicated and colorful map that was conceived in 1884 and recently modified in 1936, which deserves a video for itself, is subpolar oceanic climate, described as windy, wet, cloudy, and cool.
Misty.
Other than
Yeah,
benefiting
what's it?
from
That's some good weather right there.
warm-ish currents coming from the Gulf Stream, this location is very important for geopolitical reasons, as the Faroe Islands are right in the middle of what is called the GIUK.
So they lack sun. They don't get a lot. They don't get a lot of sun.
Well, it says it's little difference between the summer and the winter.
But
So maybe it's mostly warm.
I would go more like just nice fall weather.
Yeah,
It's
not
giving me
too fall though.
Yeah, but not too much fall. Whereas
Like coming out of the summer, like
yeah, in
that
between,
little- yeah.
and it kind of stuck with making that big shift that it needs to get the full season in hand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
The GIUK Gap is an area in the northern Atlantic Ocean that acts as a military naval choke point. The gap being the gate to the Atlantic Ocean from the Norwegian Sea and Arctic Ocean, the GIUK is very important for the UK and NATO, as it gives these countries control over who gets to access the Atlantic Ocean through this door, hence making Denmark a key player. Okay, but what are the Faroe Islands?
Yeah.
The
let's talk
short
about the Faroe
version
Islands.
is that the Faroe Islands are an autonomous country within the Kingdom of Denmark,
Okay.
similar to what Greenland is. The long version is history, briefly. Irish monks first settled in 1625, then Vikings kicked them out a century later. During the Middle Ages, they unified with the Kingdom of Norway in 1035. Then it became part of the Kalmar Union between 1397 and 1523. It then joined the Denmark-Norway Union in 1523.
So basically, as they're discovering it, people are coming across it, and they're trying to claim it.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings
Yeah.
kicking people out, and so far throughout history, everyone else is just reclaiming it and kicking people out. So that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Pretty
It's
much.
basically around the world too.
Mm-hmm.
Ended
Yeah,
in
really.
1914 with the Treaty of Kiel. This treaty concluded the Denmark-Norway Union, and the Faroe Islands became part of Denmark as we know it today. 2 years later, the Faroese parliament was abolished, and this sparked independence movements, hence its reintroduction in 1852. Until 1938, the Faroese language was banned from schools, and, by the way, Faroese is more intelligible with Icelandic than Danish, as these two languages are the closest ancestors to Old Norse. During World War II, we have the British occupation. After the war, the 1946 referendum gave the Faroese choice over self-governance versus independence. Independence won, so Denmark gave them self-governance in 1948 through the Home Rule Act. Faroese became an official language, the flag was recognized, and finally in 2005 the Takeover Act gave extended autonomy to the Faroe Islands.
2005.
So what about the European Union? If the Faroe Islands are part of Denmark and Denmark is part of the EU, then that means that they are in the EU, right? Right? Nope. When in 1973 Denmark entered the EU, the Faroe Islands decided to opt out due to fish. What? Yes, fish. That's because every member country of the EU is subject to the Common Fisheries Policy Agreement, which regulates production, quality, grading, packaging,
Okay.
labeling of such products, as well as protecting fishermen from sudden market changes, setting minimum fish prices and financing buying up of unsold fish, and set rules for trade with non-EU countries. As fishing represents 90% of their exports, the Faroese decided to opt out of this agreement, hence staying out of the EU to maximize freedom over these exports. This leaves the Faroese in an awkward situation where 1. Faroese people aren't EU citizens and Danish people are, even though they share the same passport. So if a Dane moves from Copenhagen to torshavn, they automatically lose their EU citizenship. But if any other EU citizen does the same, nothing happens.
That's confusing.
2.
Yeah,
Even
that's
though they're
crazy.
not in the EU, people
All right, I
traveling
need a
to the
comment.
Faroe
Yeah,
Islands from the
that's
Schengen.
confusing.
They said that they're not about to give up their fishing freedom. They said
Right.
we make too much money.
Exactly. First of all, they're an island. They're not massive, so of course
Yeah.
they're making the amount that they can control. They have to worry about spreading it wide, and you know what I'm
Right.
saying. So I get it. I get it. You want to protect what you got. That way, people don't manipulate and try to run you over.
Yeah, but I don't understand why, because they're a Denmark territory, if someone from Denmark would go there, move there, they'll lose the EU citizenship. But any of the other countries wouldn't lose it. So
It's
why?
more. I think it's like population control. Let's get more people to the EU instead of Denmark. Because if you leave from
Okay.
is it from Denmark to
The Faroe Islands?
The Faroe Island, you would lose everything, and then if it's from EU to
Anywhere else, you wouldn't.
you're good to go. You back and forth with it.
Yeah. That's weird.
They just, I don't know, kicking people out.
Area and vice versa are not subject to passport control. This is mostly due to the fact that the Faroe Islands are part of the Nordic Council, which has strong ties with the European Union, hence the relaxed approach to borders. And 3, back to the fish reason, due to its independent trading status, the Faroe Islands benefit greatly from import-export sanctions between Russia and the EU, hence monopolizing Russian demand for such fish products. And to make it all even more complicated, there have been rumors suggesting that the Faroe Islands are considering ditching the Faroese krona, which is basically the same as the Danish krona but with cooler designs, and adopting the euro, even though not being a member of the EU,
Yeah.
and Denmark being one that is not in the Eurozone. That would be extremely weird.
Like,
Yes.
look at the,
These are gorgeous islands with a strong cultural identity and, by the way, one of the most vibrant art scenes in Europe, but in search of a clear international status, both within their kingdom and their continent. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.
very unique, man. Not too happy that I didn't get to really look into the whole island, the sceneries, the things that they can do out
Yeah,
there.
the people.
I wanted to see that. I mean, the history behind it is nice. It's good to know that, you know, you got to have certain passport. You got to have a passport to get there, and you know the relationship they have with everyone else. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Again, I love about the fish part, because they could ship their fish and their, you know, whatever else seafood they have there wherever they want, you know, and not be, you know, just so restricted because of the certain laws that they would have to sign to be a part of the EU. So I like that part about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that, you know what I'm saying, they really put themselves away from, if that makes sense. I mean, because hearing everything that was going on in the video, I try to really grab all the information I can. It's kind of tough because it's so much. But they're unique. They're different. It's a beautiful island. It's cool to me, actually. I like it.
Yeah, me as well. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have our mailing address down below.
Check it out.
We have enabled our super thanks and the join feature if you would like to become a VIP member. We'll see you soon.
Peace.